So every night I have to prepare my meds for the next day that go through my feeding tube. So I take all the capsules, take all the tablets, empty them into my pill mill, which you can find on Amazon, and pulse it into fine powder. This pill mill is awesome. So I top the top to help it settle, and while that does, I open up the capsules. Do not open capsules without permission from your doctor or pharmacist, because not all capsules can be safely opened. So I open it up, use a brush to get any that's sticking on the edges, get all that out, and put the cap back on. I do that for 3 doses. Okay, so wash my hands, hand sanitizer, try this out, put gloves on, put alcohol on the gloves, and now we're ready to draw up my IV meds. So I count out 6 doses, so it's 6 of everything. So that was 6 flushes, 6 syringes. It'll be a total of 12 needles. That's 6 doses of Benadryl. That is 3 vials of famotidine. There's 2 doses in each one of those. And so I open up the vial and needle, and the syringe and needle, and draw up a dose of Benadryl. I do that 6 times. And then it's time for the famotidine, or also known as Pepsid. So I take all the wrappers off the syringes that are full of saline. And then I've got to empty out 2 mLs out of the 10, so I have room for the medication. So I draw up, back up to that 10 ml mark. So a total of 20 milligrams is in that. And I do that for a total of 6 doses. Once I've used a vial, I have to scrub it really, really good. Everything's been labeled and bundled. And now I'm going to disinfect this bag and put the bundles in there, put it in the fridge. Now, this is for my feeding tube. Um, Depending on whether or not I've been able to eat that day, I may be using coconut water or formula. This particular day happened to be an eating day, so I got to use coconut water instead of formula. Coconut water is naturally has electrolytes in it. Um, and then I add magnesium powder to that as well. I swish it around a little bit, hang it, and then I swoosh it around into the pump. And I'll turn it on, I'll tell it to keep settings, and then I'll tell it to prime. And my back's to the camera right now, but I'm holding that over the trash can so it can prime, and then connect it to my feeding tube and tell it to go. So next we have my IV fluids for the next day. So I take down the empty bag and tubing from today, and I disinfect my hands again. I use a lot of hand sanitizer. So I take the bag out of the bag and I put it upside down. And then I take the tubing that goes into the pump out of its package, and I'll put one end in the disinfected plastic container that's going to hold the flush, and then the other end I screw into the bag. Then I'm gonna do something that's called burping, where I am taking the air out of the bag. And then after I've done that, I flip back around and then I will prime it. So I'm getting it started doing that, and then I'm gonna hang it up and connect it to the pump. And then the pump will do its own prime, and then it'll be ready to go for the next day. So I have to tell it to reset its volume, and then I turn it to the side. Alright, so here's the meds that I've crushed before. Added the liquid meds that I have and stirred in there really good. Draw it up in the syringe and screwed it into my feeding tube and push it in. I can't push it in hard because it'll cause damage to my small intestine. But yeah. So I can't push it in hard and can't put in too much. That's the dangers with what are called jejunal tubes or J tubes. And there we go. So this is the last bit of meds before I go to bed that I take in bed. So I've washed my hands, sanitized again. Now we're doing gloves again. I grabbed a couple of flushes and alcohol and gloves again. This is the dose of Benadryl and Pepsid unwrapped for tonight that I drew up earlier. I'm gonna take some alcohol swabs and scrub my line really good, my central line. Then I screw in one of the flushes. I give it a little bit of flush, check for a blood return, and there we go, blood return. And scrub, scrub, scrub. That is the famotidine. So I'm scrubbing that down really good. I'm going to screw that into my central line and push that. Then next is the Benadryl, and that's in that smaller syringe. Screw that in and push that in. And then flush goes through, and I can't put that too fast because the IV Benadryl will kind of make your head go woo. So once it's all in there, I take this is a heparin lock, so it'll keep blood from clotting up my line, especially since I have a clotting disorder. And then I cap it off, and that's that. Take everything off, put it in the trash, reconnect to my feeding tube, screw it in there, turn the pump back on. See, pump's on. And that's it. Have a wonderful night.